You want some wisdom? This is the wisdom. Good thing I'm keeping my winter weight on. Hate for me to get chilled loading pigs. There's some times that being the tall guy is not advantageous in a hog building.
No. I'll cut your finger off.
Oh yeah. When you're a midget like me, sometimes you forget to look up. I'm about ready to start early today and get fully lubricated at the home bar.
Say hi, bud. Want to say hi to the camera? He's a little camera shy. He's a little camera shy. How about you guys? You want to say hi? Yeah, a little camera shy. I'm up here at my site, and I just wanted to give you guys a quick update on how these pigs are coming along. So far, so good. These pigs look great. Have not had many health issues at all. Early on, we didn't have to pull that many pigs, because just the health of them right out of the sow unit was phenomenal. They're eating good, they're growing like a weed. I'd say in about 3 weeks to a month, we'll be gearing up to start sending out first cuts. I'm super happy and satisfied with how these pigs are coming along. Our death loss on these pigs is really, really low. We haven't lost many pigs at all up here. These pigs, just like Site 2, also have a little bit of color in them. This pig here's got a little bit of color. That pig there, got a little orange and black on him. He's got a little bit of color. That pig back there's got a little bit of color. So I like seeing the color in these pigs. Like Dad said, we're getting that Duroc mixed in here on the genetics. I personally like when we get Duroc mixed into the genetics, because it's like what Dad said, the marbling of the meat is just better, which makes the pork taste better. And really, when it comes to pork, when it comes to the difference in pork and the flavor in pork, the genetics are the biggest contributing factor to a pork chop tasting different from another. It's not all the foo-foo dust shit that you get talked. It's not the nuts, it's not the grass, it's not the bugs, the insects they're eating. It's the breed of the pig that matters. And I'm glad that the integrator we grow pigs for, and kind of the industrial ag side of things is figuring out that, hey, people don't want to eat a lean pork chop anymore. You know, we're not putting it in our meal prep containers. We want a fat, marbled, juicy, tasty pork chop, and these genetics that we're moving towards are going to give us that kind of pork, which is awesome. I'm excited to see that, and it's just taking a little bit of time to get all the genetics switched over, but eventually I think every single group of pigs we will have a lot of color in them and have a lot of that Duroc in them, so that'll be awesome. Once you get to this stage of the pig's lives, chores can be pretty easy. Got to get the dead stock out. Got to make sure the feed line runs, make sure everything's good as far as water goes, make sure the ventilation and all that's good and there's no problems there. But you know, if everything seems to be good, you really don't have to do a whole lot more than that. We tend to spend a lot of our time with the younger pigs because they take a little bit more work. But not saying fat hogs is always a walk in the park, but when you have a great group that's off on the right foot and they're doing well and the health's good, choring fat hogs can be nice and easy. But also you can get a bad group that their health isn't as good, and that's not that fun. You know those really depressing PETA videos that they like to put out, and they show that one shot of pigs just biting on bars and they just look like they're sad as hell? Well, does this pig look like he's super sad? It just looks like he's just chomping on the bar because he's doing it for shits and gigs. And same with this chain over here. They like chewing on that chain. You guys look fine to me. I don't think you're depressed at all. I think you guys are happy playing with each other over there. You guys seem like you're getting enough stimulation, especially with that chain there, bud. I think you'll get it. Great day to be a pig farmer. Let's go see what Tork's up to at Site 1. We're up here at Site 1 and we're gonna do a little bit of preventative maintenance. We didn't quite get everything checked off our list the one day because we ran out of daylight, and it's pretty cold outside, so we want to stay toasty while we do something. We're gonna be greasing up our anchor bearings, and then we're also gonna be checking the oil in our gearboxes, which is one of the most slept on kind of items when it comes to maintenance. Not a lot of people really do that often, but it's important because it makes your motor last longer. Every single one of these anchor bearings has a Zerk, and we don't have our fancy DeWalt grease gun, so we got to go back to the basics, but I didn't get it. I didn't get it again. We're gonna give her one last go around. No.
Not taken.
Not taken.
Let's try this one.
This one's definitely taken. We're going back to Mr. Reliable here, so this seems to be working pretty good with the DeWalt grease gun. They're pretty damn good. These are just the cat's ass, so. And you can finagle them kind of however you want to. Wherever the Zerk is, it's pretty easy to finagle it in there. Now we'll check gear oil in these to see if they got some oil. You got to take this bolt off. Kind of in a shitty spot, so it's going to take a little bit of finagling, but that's pretty much everything on a feed line motor.
Like he said, I think this is probably one of the most overlooked items that people just don't think about. And part of that's because they're really pretty darn reliable. These gearboxes are pretty good. Oh, you got it out.
She's wet.
And oil's running out, which that's what you want. Now just put it back in.
She's a little excited.
You take that plug out and there's no oil running out or right there where you can feel it, you definitely need to add it, because these gearboxes, inside where the gears turn, there's brass bushings in there. And if those brass bushings don't have oil on them, the shafts of the gears are all hardened steel. They'll just eat them out. And then what happens is the teeth of the gear drop down, and then you'll come in, your motor will be running, nothing will be happening. So, no bueno. A little bit of preventative maintenance goes a long ways. Only 16 more to do.
I know.
that's the other problem with a 4800 head sight is there's 16 of these to do. How's that for you?
Here's the other shitty part. They're always on the right side. They're always on the right side of the motor. You're gonna have a feed line in your face most likely.
There's some times that being the tall guy is not advantageous in a hog building.
No.
Pig update. These are they're getting there. They're about a month away from selling, I'd say. Getting excited for loading in the middle of winter?
Oh yeah, you know it.
Yeah, it's gonna work out that these pigs are all gonna go to market at both Sawyer's site and our double site right around the 1st of January, so that ought to be super. Good thing I'm keeping my winter weight on. Hate for me to get chilled loading pigs.
Came into the south room and we were gonna grease the anchor bearing on one of the lines, but as you can see, there's no anchor bearing here. It's because it's sucked right into the feed line. Shitty deal, because now the pigs don't have any feed in these feeders, and we got to replace it today or else the feed line will not run.
Right, because this line ran and filled that box full of feed, but that motor's running, but there's no auger underneath where the feed dumps in. So this is where, pardon my hat head, okay, you want some wisdom? This is the wisdom. When you build a hog building, you make sure that the people that put the equipment in know what the hell they're doing. Because if they don't, it will screw you for the life of that building, and that feed line in that auger right there is too short. When they pulled the auger, you have to put tension on it. And they pulled it too tight. The pull on it is so strong. Out of this building, I've replaced that bearing 3 times. This is the 4th one in 12 years. That one I've replaced twice. The ones on that side, I've never replaced. They're original. So you tell me what the difference is. The difference is when the crew that put that in pulled the auger, they put too much tension on it, and you pay the price. And the problem is, if you pull that auger and try to weld a piece on it, where you weld it, chances are, eventually it's gonna break right beside it, because when you weld it, it screws up the tension in the metal, or it's gonna wear a hole. So the way to fix it is to pull 190 feet of auger out and shove new in, and I don't really want to do that. So I'll just put another bearing in it, but it is annoying.
Explain what we got to do in less than 30 seconds.
The anchor bearing that's in there, this is pulled in, so the only thing in the end is this. We got to get it fished out, and then this new anchor bearing we got to cut off so that the line that is pulling the feed will pull more feed than what the other one can bring it. That way the motor doesn't sit and turn on and off. So when I say the auger has a lot of tension on it, there should be auger there, and there's not. It slid up. It's probably like about right here. So we got to
Right here.
so we got to fish it all the way from up there using screwdrivers, pry it back until we can get a hold of it back here, then get it out, and then we'll cut off our anchor bearing and replace it.
Try not to get mauled.
Try not to get mauled because these guys, they don't like this.
They're hungry. So you're just bringing it back.
Yep.
Ring by ring.
That's all you can really do.
Constantly being berated by pigs while you're doing something. You must have just phenomenal patience.
Yes, you
Built
know that.
up over time.
Wasn't I the most patient father?
Yeah.
Father of the year multiple times.
We got to get you a trophy for that.
Go back and see if you can even see that at the hole.
All right. There, we're seeing progress now, folks. Seeing progress now. He's still chugging along.
Is it sticking out yet?
Yeah. Well, there's just a bunch of feed. Getting close. There you go.
This is what fails right here. So this bushing is inside that red piece of cast, and it's brass. That's what's spinning on this shaft. And if it doesn't get grease or it's got too much tension, this finally wears out. And when it does, a lot of times this keeper will come off because the drag on it, it'll finally just loosen up and come off. But it didn't, and it just ate its way clear through the piece of cast and zipped in there. But this one, you can see how we cut it off. So the new one we got to cut off like this.
Pro tip, double clamp it with 2 sets of vice grips. The last thing you want to have happen is have this shoot right back into the feed line, because then you'll have to
Start
all over again.
It literally ate a hole in it. Now, you can say, wow, that did that, but really what that means is that Tork's a piss poor manager, because I should have caught that long before now. But you walk through these barns every day and you get complacent, you check, they got feed, they got water, you adjust feeders. And when you're a midget like me, sometimes you forget to look up. I'm gonna make this one as short as this one was, so I'm gonna cut it off right there.
OSHA approved, baby.
Oh, shit. Yes, I should have went and got my safety glasses, but I don't always think about that, so that was pretty painless. Now we just got to tighten our clamp up so that it stays locked on the flighting, and then just put everything else back together.
Watch your fingers.
So you better believe it, because
I'll cut your finger off.
oh yeah. So there should be a clamp on here, and I probably have got one, but this is so tight, this one hasn't had one on since the last time I replaced it. So now we just need to put our drops back on.
Fire up the feed line and give them some damn feed. Moment of truth. We're gonna turn the feed line on and see if we can get some feed. This thing will just start spinning. This anchor bearing will just start spinning. See that? Woo! That's what we like to see right there. That's a job well done.
We'll grease it.
Oh, yeah, gotta put the final details on. Might as well.
Might as well.
Look at that. That is lubricated.
Fully lubricated. I'm about ready to start early today and get fully lubricated at the home bar. I'm just thankful that we had the stuff to fix it and we knew how to fix it, because in this business, if you had to hire everything done that ends up needing fixed, you would have no money.